Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh.
That's quiet. That's quiet. Oh, that's me. That's on me.
Wait,
all right, bro. Say something again.
We're live. I think I messed it up. My camera feed doesn't like two competing feeds. One second. Boom, boom. Here we go. And how do I, bro? I've forgotten how to do this. There we go.
Okay, there you go. He got it. He got it.
I got it in the end. I got it in the end. Oh, chat.
Make sure that your browser is not maximized so it won't cover up Discord.
Oh shit! I messed up again. Bro,
It's fine.
It's crazy that you can't. How do I do it so both of us are on screen? Ah, there. Oh, you click it. I'm still getting used to it, chat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's stressful. It's stressful. Oh man,
running the show is hard.
It really is. I still haven't got used to OBS. Oh, peoples, how are you guys doing in the chat? I know we're overlapping with the Iron Lord, so a lot of people that watch.
Who?
You know who? You're supposed to be on this show.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
How is everyone? It's good to see. It feels like forever, right? Haven't seen anybody forever.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. I couldn't do it yesterday because I was so dead. My energy was dead. I went out to like a work event, and then I couldn't really sleep because I came home late. And then I thought, let me just watch the Mike Tyson fight, which was the worst box. I went 5 a.m. in the morning. I stayed up till.
It was like watching a state of play.
Yeah. Oh, my Xbox is on. Let me turn that off before it steals bandwidth. Yeah, like it was so bad. Did you watch the fight, Cole?
Yeah.
It was such a
Watch
disgrace.
the pre-fight, and the other one, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's bad.
man. Why would you end it's like your legacy, and you'll come in, and now Jake Paul can be like, I beat Mike Tyson, which he did, even though he's a freaking dinosaur. It was really sad to see Mike Tyson turn. Like, he's really old, but I still think he threw the fight, man. He didn't even try to punch. I get his legs were like stiff, but if you're really trying to win, you'd try and corner Jake Paul in and throw some punches. He was I get it. Pads are different than a spar, but to me, it didn't even look like he was trying. He's just tired and old. And even if he was, he just looked old and leathery. You know, like the kind of premium hide you get in Witcher 3 or something. Like this RPGs are like, this leather. Yeah, he just looked.
I know it's just a movie, but the movie in '06, Rocky Balboa, where Sylvester Stallone like goes back and fights, is that he was 59 years old. He's same age as Tyson in that movie. And I know it's just a movie, but Stallone was doing moves that I didn't see any of Tyson's moves. Yeah, like Tyson's just like biting his glove the whole time. Yeah.
And this is Roy Jones kept saying like, why is he biting that? Or someone else was saying that, but he's always had a habit of biting his gloves. It's either the gloves or someone's ears, so I'd rather it be the gloves.
If I was his trainer, I'd be slapping his glove down every time he did that. But anytime you step on his toes, he slaps you in the face. So
yeah, that's true.
I feel bad for Jake Paul because Jake Paul was like he'd like throw a couple jabs in, he'd step back over and over.
Yeah, but that's good.
And I'm like, I could tell he was holding back.
It wasn't really about holding back. He's playing smart because if this is a legit fight and Mike Tyson is allowed to throw some punches. Mike Tyson is known, like the training camp would have said it. He's old. Keep moving around him. Do not come, because short game is Mike Tyson's game. His uppercut is devastating. And Mike Tyson was leading with some hooks, which is really weird to close up the distance, which is something you don't do. Especially when you have no legs behind you. Either way, it was
Didn't
so
Jake have
bad.
like 5 inches on him on reach?
Yeah, he did as well. Jake's a pretty big guy as well. But you know what? I wanted him to lose so bad. Like, he's such a... He just fights people either like dinosaurs or, MMA fighters. But you know what? Respect him. He's done it quite methodically. Almost like what Mayweather did in the boxing stakes. Although then he ended up tactically beating everyone. But it's just, I don't know, man. It was bad. Anyway, after that, I was so tired. It took me a few hours after that to fall asleep. And when I got up, I had to go out, went to the gym, came back. It was 7 p.m. and I was like, I have no energy. And plus the work has been insane. So I didn't even have a guest lined up. So I was just like, ugh. So I thought, let me do it. I was going to do a solo show. And then I was speaking to you about a game that shall not be named. Yeah, it was. They were like, "Just come, let's do this together, man. Let's have a Xbox hangout. Let's."
There's actually a couple games that cannot be named that we play from time to time.
Yeah, I know actually. Well, like Death Stranding, bro. You're not allowed to mention Death Stranding or enjoying that. What I saw you getting it on social media like mad. Like, oh, what's he doing?
I was like that meme with the Asian guy in like Parliament, and he's like surrounded by other guys, and they're like hounding down on him.
Oh yeah,
the one that's like wood. Yeah, that one. Bro, I should resurrect that meme and say Death Stranding is a banger on Xbox.
The funny thing is,
they're pissed.
You have been telling me to play that game for ages. You've been saying, Gaz, you'll really like this game. I think you'll try it.
I've been saying that for a couple of years.
And because you've been saying it, and Ranton's review, the funny thing is, this is PlayStation guys down to a T. I'm telling you, they're the most toxic, absolute pieces of shit of life. Even if you enjoy their games, they will get pissed. So I tweeted out 2 years ago that, oh, you know what? It's time to play Death Stranding, because Death Stranding 2 looks so good to me. Even when Death Stranding 1 was revealed, I was on forums like, this is going to be amazing. And then me and Asa went to a public, like after an hour of queuing up, we saw the gameplay. I'm like, this looks like shit. So we didn't play it, and the reviews came out. And then after I saw Death Stranding 2's reveal, I'm like, this game looks amazing. And then I saw this guy called Ranton. He's a really good YouTuber. He's hilarious. And he was like, you just don't get it. It's a great game. And I'm like, ever since then, I've been like side-eyeing it. So you've got receipts of me for 2 years ago saying, I can't wait to play it. And the moment I started enjoying it on Xbox, they got pissed. So pissed. You had little Nicky Marseille's crying. Oh, you guys are not playing this. Like, I'm like, at least I was giving it its flowers. I gave it. Someone tried to use a receipt where it said, "Oh, you said to me, Gaz, play this on PC," and I'm like, I've already got the PlayStation version. I'll play on here before Nicola starts crying and launches a fatwa against me. I bought the game on PlayStation, but I hate PlayStation. I don't really like PlayStation. Never like Ragnarok. I haven't completed that. And there are quite a few games on PlayStation I bought, like Sifu. Haven't completed that on PlayStation. I just don't like the PlayStation. But I bought the game, and I'm still giving it its flowers. And what? Lo and behold, as soon as I play on Xbox, Fatwa launched. Oh, the party's like, oh, you're like, enjoying this game. And the only receipts they have of me about Death Stranding is me saying, this game looks amazing. And you know who the sad little virgins were scouring, typed in Death
They were
Stranding
looking everywhere,
combing for my tweets. And all
they found 3 on me that they completely weaponized. And one of them was like, obviously me quoting the fanboys, like making fun of Crackdown and Death Stranding, because they came out a couple months apart, if I remember, back in 2019.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious? That's your weapon? The other one was me replying to Sean the Brie with the FedEx gif. Like, that was it. And I've always said, I've already defended myself on my podcast, but I've always said, like, don't make fun of this game. Like, it's going to be highly rated and it's going to be well loved. It may not be your cup of tea, but like, you kind of look silly if you make fun of it. Yeah. Because, you know, the RDX guys, they were saying trash and it's horrible, it's worthless, and it sucks. I'm like, don't say those things. So the thing is, I played it on PC for like 3 hours. I got to the point where all the ponies like gave up on it. Chapter 3, when they're like, I'm out. Like J-Dub and all those guys. We have people on the inside who are friends with those guys. Those guys don't play anything. They have like no trophies. So they gave up on Death Stranding, and then they like to run their mouths. So I played up to the point of where a lot of people give up. And I was like, the game's really good, but I don't know if I have the patience to sit down. And in 2022, I mean, it's kind of dumb. I was playing so much Grounded with my kids. Like, that's all we did for like 6 months. That and something else in 2022, because that was like a horrible year for Xbox. And I just didn't stick with Death Stranding. But when I loaded up on Xbox, because you bought it and we game share, I couldn't believe how good it looked. I'm like, 60 and 4K? I'm like, seriously?
The game is amazing.
I started over. And when I I'll end with this. When I started over and watching the cutscenes and understanding the gameplay loop on the second run around, I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. And then I fell in love with it. Like, it changed me. Yeah. And they're so mad that I changed my mind, like big flip-flopper. But you know, my favorite one is, this is the last I'll say for real, is how dare someone enjoy a game more on their preferred platform? Especially with this one where it has better draw distances and slightly better performance most of the time. So yeah, whatever. It's a good game.
I loved it. I loved that they hated me playing this on Xbox. It burned them so much. And even if it's a game like Astrobot, like I remember I played Astrobot. Search my thing on Astrobot. As soon as it was revealed, I was like, this is near Nintendo levels of platforming genius. That's what I said. So nothing. Yeah. And then when I platinumed it, you had bold, insecure Nick Mosse still crying. Quote tweets goes, look, this guy platinumed it at 1 a.m. So if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I just like say good things about the game. So I will always say.
But yet, they are going to play all of the Xbox games that they want on their preferred platform, PlayStation, and somehow that's not hypocritical. They had access to this. These guys, dude. These guys had killer PCs back when Quantum Break came out. Where's your killer PC? Where is it? Where's your 4090? Where is it? Where's your 1080 Ti or whatever you had back then? They're lying sacks.
They do not mention PC to PlayStation guys. They have switched targets now primarily to PC. They hate every platform that isn't PlayStation. And they are on it on the PC guys. And you know the good thing I like about the PC guys? PC guys don't take it either. So they're just going back at them with this pro thing. In fact, actually, let's segue to the pro before we talk about a few things. The PlayStation 5 Pro, you're such a troll. You're such a troll. You go like, this thing is a piece of shit or something to the effect. What?
I flip-flop. Like, when this thing was about ready to release, I was telling people, okay, it's killer for the price. If you want to get a PC, like, you know, it's push and pull.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if they did this on Xbox, of course, I mean, I play most of my games on Xbox console. Like, I would get a mid-gen console even if it was $700. So I'm not going to fault people. Then now we're getting all the analysis, and I'm just going, really?
Yeah. Bro,
Go ahead.
I mean, I can go through it. There's quite a lot of different things there. Like,
Shout out to Newest in the chat, by the way.
Oh yeah, shout out to Newest in the chat. No, Newest in my Discord just shares the negatives of PS5 Pro, and it pisses Nick off. Pisses off other PlayStation guys in the Discord so much because he's just sharing this stuff. And
The truth, yeah.
I'm sure. I didn't even buy the mid-gen Xbox One X, and that was a great console. Like, for me, I'm not massive fan of mid-gen, but I see the appeal. I like, these things are aging now. It's 4 years. People want 60 nowadays. For me, it's a no-brainer. I look at all this mid-gen stuff, and I'm like, I am 100% going PC. Like I did last gen when the Xbox One X was out. I was on PC. I didn't bother with that. So for me, it's like a no-brainer. But in the lead up to the PS5 Pro, because the ponies are so used to being coddled, and the primary, like
Bridge Baby.
Bridge Baby. What, Dead Stranding?
Yeah, the little Bridge Baby.
Little BB.
They're in there like, ding, 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 Hiroki, let us out.
That's exactly what
they're little throat babies is what they are, bro.
That sounds best. Bro, they are just absolutely they're just like, now I'm seeing the victim mentality from them, like, oh, PC guys picking on us. So it's like, hold on a minute, you can't sit here compare it to a 4080, and when it gets trounced, then sit there with, you know, your tail between your legs, and you just like cry victim. We lost a good friend, didn't we? D-Batch, he's gone. He's a pony now, but he's not even just he's adopted all the behaviors. And once he came at King David for like sharing a tweet, oh, come on, King David, and it's about sales thing or something, or Astrobot sales. And I'm like, yeah. Hold on a minute, D-Batch, you have been quiet, and your legs, your cock's been tucked between your legs for about God knows how many years, and you were an RDX. The moment you do a pivot, now you're talking about sales. Come on, bro, because you got J-Dub like retweeting him and egging him on. Yeah, go for it. And D-Batch is now fallen victim to the fact that the PlayStation guys will take
and friends with the people that hated him the most. That's the best part.
Look, there's always
there's layers.
Yeah, absolutely, there are layers there. Absolutely. You know me. I have PlayStation guys, Xbox guys. I like to have the dialogue. But D-Batch has done the full tilt, turned to PlayStation, makes fun of King David, talks about the sales, talks about the hardware, talks about everything, and now he's just, oh, look, Call of Duty is this on Xbox. Like, come on, man. How have you done such a switch when you were at the forefront of telling us that the Xbox was this amazing console, and the tools kept coming out of his mouth all the time, and because he's done this about face, it's so weird to me. It's like, come on, D. Like, just be genuine here. Like, you don't need to do all this twerking. But he's decided, and he's a grown man, and he can do that. That's fine.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, he can do his little about face. But D-Batch, you're going to be the memes. Look, I don't hate the guy. Look, D-Batch, you can come in here. We can have a chat. If he ever turned his camera on, I'll invite him, and then we can have a chat. But D-Batch has done like a whole you bout face. But now, look at so many different versions of so many different things. Alan Wake 2 has broken ray tracing, shadows, and quality mode. Dragon's Dogma has got some severe ghosting in RT mode. Silent Hill 2. Look at these articles. Let me see if I can. Shout out to Silent. Thank you for the 5. He goes, how come I never see Colt playing those guitars? Show us some skills. Colt Eastwood, they want to see your things, bro.
Yeah, I should. You know what? Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I'll throw that at the end of a video.
Do it now.
It's like you have to get everything all.
Oh, yeah.
I've never routed everything through my computer, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
I've come a long way this year.
In what? In terms of?
It's been pretty nice.
In terms of guitar?
Yeah, I mean, I've been taking lessons since January, so okay. I don't practice very much, but I've learned a lot. So
a lot.
A lot.
So I'm just gonna play.
Yeah, this one right here is off of that hanger like several times a week.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I played a lot. A lot.
While
you're digging that up, my issue with we don't talk about fanboys all that much, and we don't need to. But my issue with when you say the yeah, we do. I mean, when we're trying to talk on a podcast, right? My issue with the you said full 180 or whatever you said. What was the word you said about D-Batch?
Yeah, the full 180. Yeah.
My issue is like,
but the way
here, make sure you're.
Why are you going after King David about? Oh shit! Sorry, my Discord thing.
Yeah, just make sure that whatever you bring up isn't full screen. So annoying. Discord didn't used to be that way.
Yeah.
My problem with these fanboys that when they're upset with one platform, they take every part of that like persona they live and they change it to the other team. And I've been so angry at Xbox and so frustrated and so disappointed with how they've been, but I don't turn around and just like do the it's like
I will say this,
it's such a fanboy mentality. Like if you're mad at your platform, just say your piece and then say your piece about the other ones. But I've watched so many of these people that I used to podcast with, or that I used to watch their podcasts, and now everything they did for the green flag of Xbox, now they're doing for the blue flag, and then becoming friends with these people who have harassed them for years and years and called them every name except a child of God, and now they're best friends and they're podcasting with them. Oh, it's like
the thing is they
really exposes where their allegiance is really to the plastic and the flag of the brand, other than asking for better.
I think Tim Dog was like, I like Tim Dog, but
I didn't say Tim Dog.
Well, I'll say Tim Dog. I like Tim Dog as a person, but
I do too. I love him.
Yeah, I love it. But he did such an angry broken X switch, and then you celebrate the pro sales and stuff like, and you know he doesn't feel that way. Like there's some bits come from anger. When I went with the PS4 launch came out, and I switched because I was like, for all the reasons, it was cheaper, more powerful. But the controller actually was worse. It ended up being worse because the demo version at Gamescom was not the one that was the retail version. But I'm like, why?
I still think the DualSense 4 was pretty good, but whatever.
I thought it was shit. It was absolute dog shit. Battery life. It just everything was crap to me. And you know, the Xbox One was a piece of shit console to the point where, and then
barely console.
And when I vouched for PlayStation for 3 years, gave me nothing, and I was calling out like I do. Like I've been calling out Xbox for God knows how many years, and I've got all the Ponybot labels on me for 3 years. I have to make videos about Xbox content creators coming at me for years. So there's like that kind of consistency versus someone who's now a born again pony and just
pony.
Yeah, bro, just starts latching on to that narrative because it suits the thing. They will get burnt. But in D-Badge's thing, I feel sorry for him because I feel like he is going to get burnt again because he was vouching for Xbox and the Series X and all the bollocks turned into absolute shit. I've said it for ages. The Series X lost the power narrative way before the Pro came out. And now the Pros come out. He switched there, and the Switch is... Look, let me just have a look. Let me play some stuff. So, and this is not to ruin the enjoyment of the Pro. Let me make it very clear because you need to, because people are just idiots. But the Pro, I'm sure, is a decent console. I don't agree with Colt saying it's a piece of shit, but... but I'm trying to be nice here. But
well, I mean, I did say publicly that it's a scam. I feel
also,
like
basically, scam is worse than piece of shit.
Yeah, it is actually scam is worse because they're boasting 45% extra GPU power, and then you got a game running at 460. What was the number, Newis?
I have no idea. I will say I think it's a decent console. It's right here. It just will
648p, bro. That's like Xbox Series S levels. I mean, I know it's got ray tracing and everything. Whatever.
Yeah. No, but
yeah, we forgive it.
I don't think it's a terrible console, but I don't think it was God's gift to humanity. Like a lot of the PlayStation guys were saying, they're comparing it to 4080s and stuff. And this is what real PC performance. I've got videos of people saying, forget PC, this is the real next gen machine. And the reality on the ground is very different. Let's have a look. If I can sort my life out. I think that's playing. Colt, you might, if you're watching this on desktop, Colt, you might want to just, because there's less of a minimal delay, so you can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll unmute it.
Yeah.
So they've changed that up, but have they also introduced things like PSSR? What's that image quality like in the performance mode?
Yeah, they have. It's interesting.
Shout out to Digital Foundry, by the way.
First of all, the other visual settings outside of the ray tracing do appear to be the same as before. You have similar foliage draw, similar shadows, but the real key change here, outside of the RT, is the addition of PSSR in this title. Because they...
And PSSR seems to be the culprit here. This PSSR is supposed to be a game changer, but it's really inconsistent in its delivery of results.
Have added PSSR in this game in the performance mode, and image quality, unfortunately, it's really not good with PSSR in this title. If you look at this side by side, for instance, you can see just how unstable the game appears now with PSSR in the performance mode. I would personally go as far as to say it looks dramatically worse than the old performance mode here.
Dramatically worse than the old PS5 performance mode. That's bad.
Which after the patch last September with FSR was not that offensive looking. It was not too bad. It was basically okay.
I'm playing this right now, by the way. Survivor is really good.
So pause that for a second if you're not done with it.
Yeah.
I know these aren't like fully enhanced, and I know that's a lot of the reasoning. If it was on Xbox or PlayStation, that's a valid reason to say these aren't like enhanced by the studio, but EA didn't enhance this for the PS5 Pro. But the PS5 Pro is, by very nature, 90 to 98% of the games will not be enhanced that are available on the PS5 platform.
Why?
So, because they won't be enhanced via patch. They won't get like a PS5 Pro bespoke patch from the studios. I think Xbox One X got 100 4K patch games in the opening months of its release in 2017. PS5 Pro is at 50 plus, so they'll probably have about 100, early on. But when you're talking 5,000 games available, by very nature, some 95+% of the games will not be enhanced via the studios with a bespoke patch update. So what Mark Cerny has done is he's given this thing PlayStation Super Resolution. Upscaling, right?
Yeah.
So what you're looking at with this, as far as I know, Jedi Survivor is just getting the natural PSSR upgrade, and it's made the game worse in many aspects. So if you're rolling your dice as Mark Cerny and PlayStation say, hey, we built this stuff so just games just automatically look and feel better, that's why I'm like, it's kind of a scam. You're not getting a better performance. With the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, like, you got upscaled games, a ton of them at the end of that generation.
Yeah.
And now it just looks like, in its early days, maybe this could all change, and maybe in a year from now we'll be like, oh, geez, yeah, this thing's doing amazing. But right now, like, you're getting a worse experience. And I'll add in that PlayStation's first party stuff like Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, all of those games look phenomenal. That's a unanimous decision that those games look great.
I think,
but right now there's all these games being exposed that it's worse. That's why I'm complaining. I
mean, I just think it's a little bit of a reality check as well. Like, obviously I'm coming as a bit of an expert, taking the piss out of ponies, which is always fun. I do think it's okay, whatever it is, they've raised the bar on the price, which is going to be the new baseline for consoles going forward. Even if it's a mid-gen, I think that's what's going to happen. But ultimately, this machine will have some good results primarily with its first party. That's where you're going to see it really shine, with PlayStation's first party really making their titles look good. You've got an article here says that PlayStation 5 Pro Game Boost feature isn't delivering the 45% improvements promised before launch, likely due to memory bandwidth. And then you've got Eurogamer article saying Silent Hill 2 remake fans want to know when the game will run properly on the PS5 Pro. And this is early days. And again, because it's early days, they can rectify it. But I just wanted to bring that up because of your tweet, because of the narratives going forward, because I've been seeing so much the bullshit from the stables. Also, the PC guys are also coming at the PlayStation guys as well. But, you know, they deserve that absolute slappage, because if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. You can never be reasonable with PlayStation fanboys. Adopt full aggression policy, Cobra Kai, no mercy, no surrender. So it's been interesting to watch that happen. Also, I was going to ask you, Cole, look, in my opinion, again, I'm not the biggest mid-gen guy, but do you think Xbox, we'll talk about Xbox in a bit because they're doing all sorts, even in the hardware space, it's a bit weird to talk about Xbox, but do you think Xbox did the right thing, like, by not doing a mid-gen console? Because Phil Spencer said that I think he released a statement this week saying that you're just getting, there's no point doing $1,000 consoles. There's diminishing returns or something. To that effect.
He said that it isn't worth doing a mid-gen console right now because during the 360, and he should have said Xbox One generation as well. He said during the 360, you took the leap from standard definition up to HD, which is a big deal and a big difference. But I also think that when we took the leap from 1080p screens to 4K televisions with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, that was a pretty amazing difference. And I was really impressed with, like, Assassin's Creed Origins of 2017 at 4K. I was really shocked. Like, this looks really, really good for a $500 console. The other issue being that the PS5 Pro should have been closer to 600 or 550 because the mid-gen console was the last ones we had were priced the same as the launch model. And but I would have liked Xbox to do a mid-gen console. And I think if PlayStation did one, Xbox should have done one too. And I think they knew PlayStation was making a PS5 Pro and they decided, nah, we're not going to. But part of that is their fault because their console has performed so horribly in the market. Like, we're already losing $50 to $100 on the Xbox Series right now. What's it going to be like when we try to make a modern one in 2024 and sell it and continue to lose money? And that's where we, as Xbox console only players, lose out.
Yeah. No, honestly, Gaz, unmute me.
You're there, bro. We see you, JV.
Hey,
we see you.
I see you there. What do you mean? Oh, on Twitter? You have no chance. This guy is such a sad pony on Twitter. It's ridiculous.
He's a pony?
Oh, yeah, JV's one of the biggest ponies you'll see on Twitter. And he just tweets the dumbest shit. It's not even good stuff. It's like, you know, the basic stuff on Twitter, like the most basic. It's like, what are you saying? You're not even saying anything. He just does it takes a lot for me to mute. It takes a lot for me to mute someone. So it's just.
I think he's an Xbox guy.
I think he's. I'm pretty sure he is. Is it the right? Am I talking about the right? Maybe the right JV Smooth.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Nothing. I can't say.
Is it good or bad?
It's bad for somebody else. We'll see. We'll visit it later. I'm sorry.
Oh shit. Well, come on, man. At least DM it to me or something.
It's gonna come back to hurt me by proxy.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. Some that one of my buddies said that just fell onto his face in the asphalt and just ran it right up the chin.
you have to DM it to me or something, man, because I'm very intrigued. Well, look, PlayStation 5 Pro is a piece of shit.
There it is, guys. Thank you.
Look, honestly, enjoy your PS5 Pro.
Hold on. Let's see what Xbox Series S. Indulge me, audience. Jedi Survivor Resolution. Okay, let's look that up.
Is it D-Match? Are you talking about D-Match? Is this what?
No.
Oh, I'd like to get D-Match to get murked. He's been twerking way too hard.
I'm looking at Eurogamer that says I'm trying to find out what the Series S.
Who
because
cares?
I'm thinking, like, is the Series S running close to the PS5 Pro? Something must be wrong. Maybe this is like a bug.
Bro,
maybe it's like a patch bug or a port bug that's not working on the PS5 Pro properly, and somebody's going to be embarrassed, and it's not Digital Foundry's fault either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, Alan, look. I'm gonna put it up on screen as well.
There's no ray tracing mode on Series S, but it targets a 1080p output. Do they have a pixel count?
And
Nope.
look, you
I give
got
up.
PS5 Pro. So this is the pitch. I'm sorry, you can call it fanboy stuff or whatever, but the pitch was this: you're gonna get performance and quality mode, no compromise, all in one with these games, and that's not happening in totality. You've got some really good outliers like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's really cleared up, but you've got titles like, you know, Alan Wake, 49 FPS on the Pro mode, and it's being bested by a 3070 when some people are comparing it to a 4080.
4070, I think, or 4080. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just like, relax.
Did you see that PC build that Wario64 was sharing out? That was $700, had an i5 and a 4070 in it.
$700.
$699 US. Yeah, same price
Bro,
as a Pro.
I'll buy that, bro. What?
No, you won't. You're gonna get a 4090 or a 5080 or whatever
5090,
PC.
5090, man.
Oh my gosh.
That
That thing won't even fit in your house.
It won't. But this studio will take up half the wall. The freaking power of that thing. My electricity bill is terrible as it is.
You'll have to do all your streams with no shirt because it's gonna put off so much heat.
That's what Alex does. So I might do it as well. Hey, listen, I've been making a little bit of games.
Sand dunes.
I'm not totally sand dunes now. I've been going hard at the gym. I was just it's
I've
getting
been
there.
losing some weight because I was pregnant when I met you in London.
Oh my god,
we were
so
having
fat.
Korean barbecued chicken and
We were so fat. We were so fat. But that's the PlayStation 5.
there's a clip of us playing Dance Dance Revolution. It looks like Tweedledee and Tweedledum like on the weight loss clinic.
I will never release that video ever of us two playing Dance Dance Revolution. Holy shit. It's like fat Mighty Keith just trying to navigate through freaking puzzles.
Yes! You got Cracker Eastwood over there trying to do the dance moves.
It was actually so funny. So tiring as well. It's so tiring. There's this fat Turkish guy, horrendously obese, and he does a skibbity. Yeah, you've seen that. Yeah, and his stomach is shaking like. That was basically me on the Dance Dance Resolution. It was so bad. It was so bad. I want to delete that video so it never gets seen like that.
And Darsh was with us. The Darsh is in like really good shape, and I wasn't. And he's
Darsh
just
been
recording
really
us on
good
his
now.
phone. Got your ass.
God, yeah, I was like, oh no, do not. But even he knows it's so bad I cannot post this. But we look like fat shits, man. And when was that? When was that? Was that last year?
That was June, I think.
This year?
Yeah, in September I
my
started
God.
losing weight.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Every day I'm like, I don't like myself. And then I'm like eating Taco Bell.
Chat, listen to me, yeah? The thing that made such a big difference is cut out bread and carbs, man. The bread is the worst. Bread is so bad for you. I cut that out. I started shedding weight like mad. More of a carnivore diet and having a lot of steak. Well, try and have steaks at night, but a lot of just meat.
Don't
Just
eat potatoes, pasta, bread, and stay off of. I was staying off Mountain Dew. Yeah,
And sugar as well. I cut sugar out a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
yeah, yeah. I'm drinking
I
these
had
zero.
cheat days,
Like these actually taste good to me now. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't drink these before. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really bad. Yeah, JV says cut out the soda.
Soda's terrible.
Thanks
I
to
never had
Fonz and my daughter, like they both kind of like do the same thing.
that. Yeah.
Just like I was just barbecuing up chicken, cut up a bunch of vegetables and grill them up, and I'm like, I'm eating better than ever.
yeah. I'm feeling better as
Or
well.
Magnum says, go on the Dreamcast guy meth diet. Hey, our next topic on this podcast for the Septic Sauce. Hey, hit the like button if you're here. Welcome to the show. Love all of you guys. Dreamcast guy sold his girlfriend his base PS5 Pro over retail price. And they're still together. More to 11.
Bro, I played that. Where is it? Someone sent me a clip. It's on DMs. Wait, let me see if this works. This is going to mess it up a little bit. But, I know it's going to show DMs. I don't want it to show DMs. That's bad. Oh shit. I can't do.
That was like I did a Microsoft Rewards video, and I said, you go through the alphabet and do searches, and there's like certain who knows what comes up on my search history while I'm screen recording.
Oh man. Oh shit, man. But anyway, there was a video of Dreamcast guys just calling. What did he say? Oh yeah, Saturn and Nutella. It was hilarious, bro.
Oh.
You just like, it's so funny. Grey Fox, thank you, man, for the €2 super chat. Just some support. Greets from Amsterdam. Pro equals shit. Shout out to Grey Fox. Pro is shit. I'm just gonna get freaking clipped to death, man. We're just taking the piss. Look at this salty experts. Do it. But at least link the YouTube freaking chat, you absolute satellite.
Minimize your
shit.
part of your DM. It says something about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I can't see your camera.
Oh, it should be all right now, no? Oh yeah, what the hell?
I don't know. It'll be a second. Just check your
Why
OBS.
is it doing that? That's weird.
Is that
It just froze there for no reason.
turn your camera off and back on.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah,
here we're good.
Yeah.
It was only like that for like 10 seconds.
I thought it leaked the stuff on the Ubisoft stuff I know from my friend who works at Ubisoft. I was like, no!
You saw it here first. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming to console.
Yeah. No, the new Assassin's Creed is absolute dog shit. Well, the development of it has been absolute
Do you think the game is going to be any good, though?
No one at Ubisoft thinks it's going to be good.
Oh, man, I really want that game to be good.
Bro,
I want to knock around oranges and stuff.
But they didn't even consult Ubisoft Japan on the Japanese elements of the game. They just
they have their own studios there?
Yeah, well, they've got a Japanese thing outfit there. Consult them on stuff like the touring game scandal.
Quebec take care of it.
So dumb, bro. Like I just don't understand how these big companies work. But anyway.
Yeah, we do know.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do know.
Yeah, it's a shit show.
In the West, it's horrible.
It's a shit show.
It's bad.
Honestly, like I felt like a lot of the people were grifting with some of the woke stuff. I get SBI and all that bollocks is a bit shit. But when my mates working, they're telling me some of the stuff that happened. I'm like, what? And he was just explaining it's a lot worse. So, a lot of people say, Fratanga is talking shit and he's grifting. After hearing this, I was actually more shocked. I know a lot of that stuff happened, and a lot of it is conspiracy bollocks, because a lot of people, the incels, will take it too far. But when you see the mandates that are being pushed, and I'm being told about the mandates that are being pushed in these studios, it's like, holy shit, if I recorded that conversation and I put it out there, the internet would go crazy. The internet will go crazy. Grums would be like happy. Everyone would go crazy. But it is what it is. So let's talk about Call of Duty. This surprised the shit out of me, man. And people are trying to downplay it. Like, it's no big deal. Or, well, some ponies are trying to do it, or whatever. But apparently Colt Eastwood, despite Xbox not even trying with advertising Call of Duty with Game Pass, they advertise
never even mentioned Game Pass.
Hardly ever mention it. It seems like the word of mouth and general value of this thing has permeated the masses, because what we're hearing, and again, a massive disclaimer, I don't know exactly what this means because it seems so crazy to me, but Xbox is the most played platform for Call of Duty. It has despite the hardware sales skewed in favor of PlayStation and PC, and Xbox actually seeing a decline, which is obviously makes sense because everyone's getting on Game Pass. Xbox is still, despite being outsold 2-1, Xbox is the most played platform for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And I think that's insane. I think that's crazy for a console that has dwindling console sales. Now, the question is, Colt, what the hell is Xbox for Microsoft when they say that? Does Xbox mean the console platform?
Yeah, absolutely it does. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, everyone thought, maybe they mean on PC and everything. No, they're on Xbox console. Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, there are more people on Game Pass on Xbox console than PC. I think the ratio's higher. I think that's what we heard in like the court finding stuff. But yeah, it's doing really well. And you and I were talking show about. I said they have to retain those new subs or that are playing on Game Pass with Call of Duty. They have to keep them through a few months to make up on let's say if 1 million people buy the game at $70, but instead they go to Game Pass. Like you need to keep them around for a few months. And with the way Xbox has this next several months set forward, you've got Flight Sim coming out, Stalker 2, you got Indiana Jones. This is all in the next 2 months. And then in February, you've got Avowed and Sniper Elite 6 or whatever. I don't know what they have coming out on Game Pass in January, but if you're looking forward, like, oh, hey, I like this Game Pass thing, let's see if I'll hold on to it. Like, you're probably going to be like, oh, I'm going to keep it definitely next month because I want to play Indiana Jones. And then after that's Avowed. And I think they'll be able to retain a lot of people. I love that picture. Look at that. Look at Rand.
I was like,
He didn't have color cast his face right, dang it.
No, that was early Photoshop days, or the Pixar days. There was an
So
article
anyway,
here.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's good news. I mean, I played it for the prostate check.
Okay, should play that.
Bro, you had like 19 tweets that morning.
Oh, bro, I had so
Wait,
much
go
fun.
back to the Stellar Blade one. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Nibs came at me so hard over the Death Stranding thing, and Gaz turns around and goes, Nib managed to do a tech comparison with a box of Kleenex and some lotion.
It's the same picture. Well, I don't care. Yeah. But there was article here where JW goes, my brother Septic was contemplating switching back to PlayStation's got little tiny Asian guy on top.
Bro, that does look like you. Same size and everything. The no arms.
Yeah. But there was an article, I forgot where it was. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, the PS... no red lines. The PlayStation 5 Pro was set on sale already in less than a week from being revealed. Not a Black Friday. Ooh, where's my camera? Oh, my battery died.
What?
Yeah.
You have another battery?
Yeah, I've got loads.
That's funny because the other news we got this week was that the PS5 Pro scalpers were selling it for less than $700 because there was no demand for the scalped like surplus of PS5 Pros. So, wow, wonderful. Yeah.
I think apparently it's selling better than the Pro, or slightly better than the PS4 Pro, which is still big.
Really?
Well,
That's really surprising.
Apparently it was tracking a little bit better than. That's what I think Totoki said. I'm not sure, but I think I saw an article about that. So I'm not saying this console is not going to sell well. I think PlayStation is such a powerhouse and such a household name, and with Xbox kind of bowing out so much from this hardware.
13,000 more units at launch than the PS4 Pro.
That's crazy.
That's surprising.
30,000 is not a small number, man.
I don't remember. I do not remember in 2016 the narrative being "Don't buy a PS4 Pro." I remember I'm sure there were people that said that, but I remember in 2016 people were like, "I'm getting a Pro," and I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Crazy.
Oh shit, what's going on here?
Because even PlayStation guys are like, "F the Pro," right now.
Yeah.
Are you able to plug in your camera?
I have. I'm just wondering.
Oh, okay, there you are.
Is it working? Yeah, I think so.
You just to have only me on with the web page. Yeah,
web
page, but hold on, I'm not live either. I got to minimize something.
No, I think it was me. Yeah. Wait, let me check.
Make sure you have everything. Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's annoying. I'm gonna get a third monitor. I've got a big monitor up here, but I'm gonna get a third monitor to really sort that out. So I'll have 4 monitors. And this PC is so slow. By the time the stream ends, my PC's like, I have to restart it. So yeah, Call of Duty. If that is the most played platform of Call of Duty, Do you know how big that is for Xbox? Because you're pulling in the biggest IP, has the biggest player numbers on Xbox, whatever that means. Even if you argue that it's just Game Pass, so PC Game Pass users and Xbox Game Pass users constitute the majority of COD players. That means Game Pass is already working without such a menial effort in its marketing, and that's very disruptive. I don't think people need to appreciate that. That is pretty crazy. The last time Call of Duty was the biggest on Xbox was years ago. So for Xbox to do that, and then in tandem with their future strategy, this could cause some concern to Sony. If you're Sony, you're looking at the back end and you're seeing the biggest IP out there, and the Game Pass is pulling away significant number of people. Do you think they're going to be worried? Yes, absolutely they are. There's only one correct answer. Sony will not be happy about that. Absolutely not. And so I think people need to keep a keen eye on stuff like that, because that is the kind of shift in Game Pass numbers and user behavior that will really worry competitors. But yeah, it will worry Sony that you pull them away from that. So just something to bear in mind. Again, I still say just let's wait and see. This could be a short-term blip as well. Like, it's a statement. Do you see how how loudly they announced Diablo was the #1 platform for COD for Game Pass? Game Pass users are the biggest. Can't talk. Diablo players played mostly on Game Pass. That's what I was trying to say, or on Xbox or something like that. And they made that announcement. It was a very important metric for their shareholders and whatnot. Call of Duty, if that's the case and it's the truth, expect an answer from them very soon on that. You can't expect them to be quiet on that. It makes no tactical sense to be quiet about that. So it's huge news. That's
especially when they can't even deliver a live service game that is evergreen and draws people, monthly active users constantly, and is continually making money with microtransactions. I mean, people are making excuses like 70% of the sales of Call of Duty are on PlayStation. It's like, yeah, thanks for 70% of those sales, 70% of that money going to Xbox, and all the microtransactions going to Xbox and Microsoft. In fact, it was a $250 million plus project to make Call of Duty Black Ops 6. It's probably already turning a profit. And so the whole games industry biz thing saying, oh, you know, PlayStation's going to be in the black, you know.
No. What did they say?
The whole thing is wrong.
Didn't they say that PlayStation would make more money off the Call of Duty?
I have it right here. I can read it to you. It's very brief.
And it got community note.
Depending on Game Pass situation shakes out, Sony could end up being the company that enjoys the most black ink on its financials from Black Ops 6, which is a bit of a bum note and what would be a triumphant moment for Xbox. Community note added, it is mathematically impossible for Sony to make more money on Black Ops 6 than Microsoft. Microsoft gets 80% of the money made on every sale of the game on PlayStation, while Sony only gets 20%. This is before considering money platforms Sony gets no cut from, which is PC and mobile and Xbox. And Game Pass. I mean, Sony, it was a stupid opinion piece by gamesindustry.biz trying to minimize the victory or celebration of Xbox, you know, coming into their investments. People were like, well, they're still in the whole 70 billion. It was a cash purchase. My best educated guess is that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has already turned a profit. It's only been out 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, they're killing it. And plus, when they bought ABK, guys, they were printing money off of Candy Crush alone. So yeah, people just don't understand. They're so stuck in the, and I've been there. They're so stuck in the 2010s era and before of consoles like, this is my piece of plastic. This console game only works in this piece of device, and you don't get your game. Only I get this game because I picked this one. I picked the white one. You picked the black one. That's over. That's going away.
Well, I don't like it, but it is going away. What's up, Infrared?
Why? I mean, you don't like the fight? Like, we still get the games. We've been going through this for so long, and
Come on, just because you capitulate, come on. Look, you're telling me now that you're okay with the open platform, open legs thing. No, you're not. I know deep down inside you're not.
yes, I am not, but this is the reality of console exclusivity, the only on PlayStation moniker, or Xbox exclusive. That is a dying, deteriorating ideal, and it's not going to carry forward.
I agree.
And I told you before the show, PlayStation's game would be on PC a lot sooner, not because they're coddling the bridge baby of their fans. Like, it'll be okay. PlayStation does want to sell consoles, and they can continue having that uptick by making it special. But I would venture that their games would come to PC a lot sooner if they could. And Nixxes can't carry the weight of the entire platform on their shoulders, and their studios should be cranking out PC versions alongside of the console version, even if they're launching later. So,
well,
that's my opinion.
This is a good segue into talking about the Xbox no red line statement that came in this week. And it's a statement that came out from Phil Spencer directly, and then he mentions Halo after the fact. So he says that there is no red line on what games Xbox can bring or will bring to PlayStation and Nintendo. Basically, everything is fair game. That includes Gears, Halo, and Forza. So obviously no announcements yet. They can be more tactical. I hope they at least be more tactical and not committing themselves to a firm policy of day and date, because that would just be stupid, because you're still in the hardware game apparently. So Phil Spencer made this statement. I went live midweek. I will post this up on Spotify. I've been so busy, chat, and I'm really sorry, and I'm working really hard to deliver something very different. I sit down. The reason why, so I just want to quick mention why my content hasn't been free flowing. I've been talking to my mate Jake, who's a graphic designer, and I'm like, what's the future trajectory of the channel? I did the rebrand and everything, and I'm like, I the Pony Hunter stuff. A lot of people want to have the skits. I want to deliver a lot of that, and I do it properly. Like, if I just do the YouTube grind of putting a video a week and all of that, I just want to leave something special in this space. So, but I need to do it consistently. So I'm just sitting here planning, and there's some major stuff in the works. And I've been saying this for ages, but it actually is. So I just want to talk about why that's been the case, and also finally getting settled in my life. But I just want to talk about this Xbox no red line stuff. So you've got this policy now. It's open. Basically, Xbox is third party, essentially. It's not fully there yet, but they're obviously announced it. They want to get there quicker, sooner rather than later. And just the next day, they announced their strategy, which we'll talk about, the marketing campaign. But Phil Spencer said this. Speaking about consoles, Spencer said that he's still... and this is where, if you're a primarily console guy, understand that Xbox doesn't treat you as priority for a reason. And this is what Spencer says. Speaking about consoles, Spencer said that he loves people that are buying hardware, but notes that this isn't a growth market. Our biggest growth in Xbox players is on PC and cloud. The console space all up isn't growing across all of them. That's what he said. I assume he means PlayStation and Nintendo or whatever as well. He goes, the console space all up isn't growing across all of them. We love those customers, but in terms of continuing to expand and grow Xbox, it's about PC. It's about cloud. He's saying it to your face. These are Spencer's statements. I don't know how much more clearer I can be about Xbox console players grandstanding that they're still priority. You are not priority. And then he says it's about making our games more available in more places. But he also says we'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices. So think about that. Think about that statement there. They are third party. Console players, you are not the priority. He said it to your face. He's right there. If you're worried about why you're paying to play online, why you get shafted, the PC users get better benefits, well, you know why? Because you are not the priority. And you got used, and then they squeeze, the anaconda squeeze, and there's not much juice coming out because there's a cap there, and that's fine for you. But I don't want to be treated like a piece of shit. I'm going to go PC. Not because Xbox wants to get most value out of PC, because that's where I want to be. But that's the future of Xbox. Now, I know I've been very vocal about it, and I am resolute in my comments about and my stance on the lack of competition. This hurts competition. But it's the future now. It is the future now. And they released this is Xbox ad campaign. And I took the piss out of them for the whole day because how can I not? It's so brilliant. I will leave with this. Xbox. If Xbox is everything, then Xbox is nothing. Cole Eastwood. Go with that.
Yeah. I said that they're diluting the brand, and that really pissed off a lot of diehard Xbox guys. Even some former or fellow podcast buddies, you know. But yeah, it does dilute the brand. It doesn't just dilute the console. It dilutes the Game Pass, the Xbox push. They have, you know, I don't know, 30, 40 million people that are playing on console right now. And to dilute it and say, you know, the device you're playing on an Xbox, Xbox should be marketing to push the console as well. Like, they don't have to go all in, but they should continue to treat that like a priority. Like, this is a base where a lot of people buy and play games. This is where most of your people subscribe to Game Pass. But then I look at the younger generation. My kids play on a console for a couple games, but the younger generation they're not excited about Hogwarts 2 or the next Assassin's Creed game or the next Cyberpunk 2. I think that's really the 30 to 50 year olds that are really excited about some of these big games. That's a reality of the games market that I don't like. That Xbox and PlayStation are looking for that lightning in a bottle live service game that everyone plays, like a Fall Guys or a Fortnite or something, or Among Us, where it just takes the world by storm. You spent $20,000 on it, and now you make millions of dollars a minute on it. I don't want Xbox to chase that. And I feel like we might be coming up against the last bastion of the blockbuster games from both platforms.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, well, there's a lot to unpack there. The whole strategy to me seems a bit, it reminds me of the Xbox One gen because it seems very nice in some corners on paper, but it seems like you're ahead of the game there. Everywhere is Xbox, and a lot of people are saying this is premature because, like, I think Jess Corden was saying, you can't, you know, they haven't even got their mobile store ready. They've delayed that. So you're not ready. Like, and the marketing campaign is huge, by the way. I've seen it so many places already. I think I've seen it at 3 different places already in the last 2 or 3 days. And it shows that when Xbox wants to do marketing properly and spend money, it will do it and has done it. And unfortunately, it's when it's trying to tell you that everything and the kitchen sink is an Xbox. But look, we could cry about it forever. I've already done this dance for about 3 years, talk about how consoles users are second-class citizens. But this is the future. Now, for a while, Xbox has been saying this. Xbox has been trying to lap up gaming for everyone. We saw the shirt that Phil Spencer had like a month ago, and I commented on it. I'm like, what's this?
What did it say?
It's a gaming for everyone. It was kumbaya. And it's just like, it's born out of
PlayStation's like, thanks, Phil.
Yeah. But I do think this, and I do feel like in tandem with things like the Call of Duty really getting the mind share of the masses, that kind of stuff, and you have a release cadence of games, even if they're timed exclusives. You have these timed exclusives. You have Game Pass. You pulled loads of people on COD. Now you're getting these releases. You got this mass marketing campaign. If it effectively communicates to the masses what Xbox Game Pass is and what Xbox is, then you may actually see this strategy really do some kind of like real traction in the space. Because if what we say is true, that the market is changing, that we're going away from this insular console model to a more platform agnostic one, then Xbox is being forward-facing and priming itself for that future. I don't know if we're there yet, and it's like the Xbox Cloud future thing as well. And I'm very reminded by the failures there where they preemptively jumped digital. Xbox was ahead of the game there as well with the whole digital push of the Xbox One gen, but they executed it terribly. So Xbox on paper may have a really good strategy, but the execution, I don't know how that's going to land. But I feel like, look, I'm treating them like a third-party publisher. I'm going to be on PC, but I'm starting to see how Xbox could actually get some major wins with this strategy, depending on the execution. Because if they've already lost the console war, they've already lost. Now they're going for they're going for the mind share. Phil Spencer said they lost the console war. They've blatantly lost the console war. The game is coming to PlayStation. They've lost. Now they're doing this platform strategy. If they successfully pull eyes away from the likes of PlayStation, not just on the hardware front, but on terms of titles, and Call of Duty is a big one. It's one of the biggest games, if not the biggest games. And if Xbox has any brains, they will spend some billions on making sure GTA get some marketing, because you need to do that. The chances, like 70-80% chance that Sony will get the marketing for GTA.
The rumors they already have the marketing, and
it
they
wouldn't
always
surprise
have.
me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But imagine if Xbox managed to get it. It'd be very surprising, shocking even.
Well, we just got a quote from Phil Spencer yesterday that he said that he's not interested in having temporary franchises like Indiana Jones and Blade from Marvel. Those are problematic for their platform for licensing with the IPs, because Phil wants those games to remain on the platform forever, or he wants them to be across multiple devices. And it makes it really difficult. So if he can use their established franchises that they own, that are that don't belong to Disney or LucasArts or whatever, they can have their idea that any game you buy on Xbox, you can play it wherever you want, just like you do when you buy a song or buy a digital movie, you can play it wherever, right?
Yeah.
So he said that, which I know everyone's like, oh, Phil's got to buy Batman because PlayStation has Spider-Man. I think that dream is never going to become a reality, that they're probably not out there shopping for the next big Marvel IP or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, he did mention that Indiana Jones and Blade were a bit problematic because of the licensing issue, but that doesn't mean that you completely write off doing those deals. They may be difficult, but there's definitely benefits to it. Look at the Blade thing. I know it was a while ago, but as soon as Blade got announced, people lost their shit. And then they saw that with Xbox. They were like, what? It's an Xbox game now? Like, that's crazy. You see, that's the kind of thing Xbox hasn't had, that kind of association in the mass market. And when it does happen, it feels very surprising. So Phil Spencer may not like those things, but I think he shouldn't be deterred from doing those deals.
Especially if they get like handed on the table and he's like, should we do this? He shouldn't be like, well, it's just going to be a problem down the road. No, thanks. He passed on GTA 3 back in the day. He passed on Marvel Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was terrible stuff that he passed on. Some major
He was like, no, we're going to make Super Lucky's Tale and Recore. We're good.
Super Lucky's Tale and Recore. Jeez. What's up, chat? I see you in the chat. Subject says, no matter where gaming goes, hardware is going to be more important. It is going to be important, being it cloud or wherever. The problem is who will own the most, rely on hardware.
I think what's more important is how many people are playing on Xbox Live or buying the games. I think Phil's attitude is, you buy the game from us, I don't care. I think that's where he is, and that's why the friction of how we accept how they treat the console really comes down to forgetting that Phil's attitude is probably more like, you buy the game from us, I don't care where you play it. But if you buy it from PlayStation, then that sucks. Like if even if it's a game they don't own, like I keep bringing up like Dying Light because no one owns it, right? Like if you buy Dying Light on PlayStation, Xbox doesn't get any money, but he's like, we want everyone to play here. And if we can get everyone connected on the Xbox platform on all these devices, because Hiroki and Phil are both saying that the measurement of success is monthly active users, not console. And who was it in the chat that was saying, A2, I think, was saying they're going to go the way of Sega. I'm like, no, actually, no. Just imagine, Gaz, during the Dreamcast days, if Sega continued to make a console, even though it wasn't number 2 or number 1.
Yeah.
Let's say Sega continued to make a number 2 or number 4 ranked console from the year 2000 up to now. Xbox is nothing like Sega. Sega has a couple studios. Xbox has 30 studios, and Phil said we're going to continue to make consoles. So the Xbox console won't be the most popular, probably ever again. And I think Phil said that they lost the worst console generation with the PS4, and even the PlayStation isn't the most popular console. I think it's actually Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's been since the Wii. Actually, Nintendo's probably been the most popular console every time except for the PS2. If you look at as it goes up and down through all these generations. I know PlayStation's right up next to Nintendo, but yeah, I don't know. That's how it is.
Yeah, so,
I don't want one.
Someone said you can change your raid. I didn't know you could raid on YouTube. I thought it was a Twitch thing. But apparently you can change your raid settings. ILP, if you tried to raid to us. ILP have finished, I think, their show. As soon as they ended the show, the numbers went up. That's how much of a force ILP is.
Well, they finished and I'm not on there?
Colt was supposed to be on there. And then Adok forgot about him, which just worked out perfectly for me.
Yeah, that was good. That's fine.
But
there was a dicey discussion they were going to have that I would have been involved with, so no big deal.
What was the dicey discussion?
The nightmare of the controversy with South of Midnight and stuff like that. Yeah.
What's the controversy with South of Midnight? Well, because it had black people in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you want to dive into it, but there's a allegation that the guy who grew up in the South, the main character was a white girl or a white person, and as you know, Sweet Baby came in and made them change her to a female black character, which I don't believe for a microsecond. It comes from Grums and his sources. I think it's
Grums.
It's ridiculous grandstanding. I can't imagine any studio coming in like, here's our concept, we're building this game, and a consultant comes in and goes, no, you're gonna make the character this. I think it's bullshit. So, but they have their own problems over there with compulsion as well.
I don't trust Grums at all. You know,
yeah.
Can we talk about South of Midnight?
What's
South in the chat. You know, bro, can we talk about South of Midnight? South of Midnight looked amazing, man. Visually, it's incredible. And I think people need to give some flowers to Xbox here for, one, buying it out. I think Phil Spencer probably was in the driving seat behind this acquisition quite a few years ago. Because Compulsion were always, initially with the We Happy Few, everyone was really excited. The game looked amazing. It had like these almost Bioshock type kind of magic. And people were vouching for this studio, obviously talented in many ways. But then We Happy Few came out and it just didn't do what it needed to as a game. But Microsoft, like a lot of people in the industry, would have recognized that, you know, this is a studio that seems to have a lot of talent. And at Microsoft, we, at Xbox, or Microsoft now, we...
Stop.
It's true. It's facts.
It's true. Yeah.
Mike Ibarra said the same thing as well. Like, don't you mean Microsoft Gaming? I was like, yeah, perfect.
He's such a scorned lover, bro.
But I don't blame him.
He really is.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But he got shafted so much. He got shafted so much by Microsoft. I've heard like conflicting things. Some people say he's a dick to work with or some stuff like that. Other people say like he was just really passionate about the brand. I don't know what the reality of that is, but I feel like he understands the core console model, what makes Xbox good, and he's been exclusivity as well. So I do gel with him on those points. But they bought this studio, they bought Compulsion Games, and it may not be easy to back a new studio after their first game didn't live up to expectations. But Microsoft did it. And now, and you see this brilliant, it's like 30-minute vidoc about how they built this game. And you see the developers talk passionately about so much about it, the art style, the story, what was like the extent to which they went to, and they are still going to the lengths to make this game. And it looks beautiful. There's a lot of heart and a lot of soul going into this game. Whether or not it hits the gameplay side, that's the thing that would be happy for you. I cannot. It looks okay. Some of the combat doesn't look astounding, but it's something you would have to play to really feel. But I really want this game to be good. Not because it's just an Xbox game, but I really want it to be good because you want compulsion games to get that kind of win, you know, the big win that you feel that they were deserving in the first go. It would be such a brilliant story, like heartwarming, that this studio was given another chance, and in this vidoc they said they've been given so much free reign and a decent budget to do what they want. And so this is it. This is where consolidation has been good. You've given a second lease of life to a studio which would in this day and age not survive. I say this is the same Microsoft that killed off Tango Gameworks, but bearing that in mind, they've still given this chance to compulsion games, and they could potentially be onto something. And the game looks so beautiful. Part of me is like, does this belong on Xbox? Is this an Xbox game? This is so diverse. It's so nice. And I knew as soon as I saw the gameplay, you see the developers, some of them are black, and then the main character's black. Obviously, Grom's going to have a freaking fit anytime he sees a little bit of melanin. Wah. But this is not a game.
Gosh.
Like, it's not a game like that. You know me, I'm anti-woke, like the modern term woke, which has been co-opted now from the original term. But I'm so anti that bullshit because it takes away from the craft and art of work. That's why, like, I hate that shit. But this is not that game. Doesn't look like it to me. What do you think of South of Midnight?
I'm just cautiously optimistic about it. It looks cool. I really like the magic melee combat stuff. I like cool creative traversal, like where she can glide and she can have the parasol. Like, I love that stuff in third-person games.
Yeah.
But then I look at the enemies, I'm like, you're just fighting creatures. This has been a problem with me in games lately, where you just fight materializing creatures that come in and don't have like a real strong tie to the world. Like, you're not fighting. I don't know. It's tough. It's one of the problems I have with Dragon Age. It does look really good, and I think if it nails that gothic deep south lore, like aesthetic, like, which I think it will, then I'll really end up enjoying it. I'm just really careful because Compulsion, like you said, We Happy Few, it was really cool, but it just didn't really land, and they haven't really made a fantastic game. But most studios are due, you know, if they haven't yet.
Yeah.
And your favorite studio is about to put out a huge turd. So I'm really rooting for them, but I'm not going to get super excited about it until I see a little bit more. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm sitting on it. I have to be a lot more careful these days because like, I mean, I've been burned when I check out games or I have an opinion on games, but it's going to sound really cynical, but for the most part over the past couple of years, games have been really disappointing. Oh, I know it sounds like I'm such a negative person, but you know, some of our most exciting favorite studios have kind of let us down lately. Yeah. And I think a lot of them have peaked before. So I kind of hang back, and I'm not one of those guys, it better be good. It better be good. I don't have that attitude. I'm like, man, I hope it's good. I hope it's good, and I hope I enjoy it. And usually I end up enjoying games a lot. Sorry, that has to be said that way.
No, that's a very sensible way, because, like, you know, Xbox games as particular, they never really hit the heights that you expected to. We're kind of victim of our own, you know, narrative where we just hype them up to death, but they don't really hit that quality mark. With South of Midnight, I don't know what to really expect other than what they've shown. As long as it's a solid game. Look, Indiana Jones, I'm expecting a low, possibly mid 80s, probably a low 80s. Avowed the same. Stalker, probably the same. Well, it's not an Xbox game. South of Midnight, maybe the same. And like, okay, there's a lot of like 80s stuff. I'm not saying 80s are bad. Ghost of Tsushima's an 80 freaking 3 or 4 or whatever. But
so's Death Stranding.
So is Death Stranding.
Yeah, it's like an 82 or 83 or something.
Yeah, which is, you know, And how good is that game? Shabs, thank you for the £2 super chat for clarifying. He goes, it's just that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on the narrative. Ah, okay. That alone is enough to raise some concerns. Sweet Baby Inc., I don't trust them to death, but looking at the game itself, I didn't see anything that overtly concerned me that much. Like, I didn't see anything that was like, oh, okay. By the way, I did turn on the raid option, so thank you. Who was telling me about that? Because I think Iron Lords were trying to raid in here, and I had the settings off. By the way, turn that on, Colt.
Where is that?
So you go on YouTube Studios, and there's a settings, then community tab, and there's sorry chat. This is YouTube chat, but there's one option where you can activate it. Shout out King Thrash. Look. I see you. Epic Treasure. What's up? I see you as well. Shit. It's good to see you guys in there. King Thrash goes, a PlayStation 80.
Is it the live redirect thing?
PlayStation 80 does not equal an Xbox 80. King Thrash, I agree with you. Because that would be... A PlayStation 80 would be a 75 on Xbox. Because of media. Thank you, King Thrash, for confirming.
I agree. It's not 10 or 20 points. It's more like 3 to 5 points in favor of PlayStation.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal, but then there are some games that get lambasted. The Lego Horizon did not get rave reviews from anyone.
Oh shit!
I don't know who asked for that game. Herman Holt's like, everything's going to be your Guerrilla Games from now on. Everything's going to be Horizon and whatever, Herman.
Oh yeah, Lego Horizon did dog shit. Co-developed by
Steam was like topped out at 232 concurrent users over the weekend of its first weekend. No one gives a crap about Lego.
That's worse than Concord, bro. It's not. I don't think it's that people don't give a shit about Lego. I think people don't give a shit about Aloy and Horizon.
It's a little of both. A little of both. Lego's massive, but the games aren't massively huge.
And I don't look. PlayStation guys will come at me for saying this, but I don't think the Horizon games have that longevity, or the main character Aloy doesn't have that pull. I feel like Guerrilla Games doubling down, tripling down on Horizon because they've had, and I don't blame them in terms of risk nowadays. I just feel like if you did Killzone and tried quite a bit, you had major success with Killzone 2, you could do incredible things, Guerrilla Games, with Killzone. You could do incredible things. We need a Killzone this gen. If you have the vision to do a proper Killzone, a weighty, sick little Killzone game, the way I imagine it. But Shab says, thank you, Shabs, with the £2 super chat. Game looks good, but just skeptical of the narrative. It depends. Like, depends on what. I don't know what to expect from the narrative in this game. I don't want dumbass like pandering stories that bro. I'm sure Dragon Age Veilguard at some level is a great game, but I look at that dialogue, bro. It is so sorry, I was gonna say a word. It's so dumb, man. It's so shit that just is it a joke? Like the narrative just is so cringe. It's like that what you think the millennial whatever you call them will possibly like, and it's like, it's so dumb. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, look, a lot of people say, oh, it's the new gen stuff, that's why you're so out of touch. But then you see stuff that's actually popular. Bro, I know you don't play League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends, and I know you don't watch anime, but you need...
I know you're loving that, yeah.
Arcane. Yeah. You have to watch... Bro, you will love it. It is so artistically profound, so well... It's not anime. It's a 3D CGI, by the way, mixed with incredible handcrafted 2D animation. Bro, it's not... It's just like a 3D thing. It's nothing to do with anime. Yeah. People think it's anime. It's not. It is so good, and season 2 is out, and I'm like, holy shit, the music, the voice acting, the narrative, and, new gen people, they love that stuff. That is good writing. That kind of vibes that they're going for a younger audience is perfect. The music, everything. Doesn't mean that you have to listen to some Dragon Veilguard bollocks about, oh, you didn't assume my gender or some bollocks. It's like, what is that?
the
Like, no
Western
one likes
game
it.
studios and even the Western game entertainment media has not hit on most of their stuff. It seems like the Western studios have this problem where they don't make something that's ooey gooey, chewy, and delicious anymore.
Yeah.
And gosh, I love the combat so much in Dragon Age, but the cartoony, pedestrian, horrible writing. It's just, I don't know. There's some stuff that's really great and wonderful out there that comes from this side of the planet. But when you're talking about the game developers that are absolutely killing it, most of them are on the other side of the world. They're I don't know what you'd call them if you want to lump them together. Everyone always says JRPGs, but I don't know, how do you call that?
Far East Asians?
Far East Asia. Yeah, they're the ones that are even the Eastern European studios and the Far East Asia studios are killing it. They're making really great stuff that people love. And I mean, I'm working on a big documentary style video about how our favorite studios they're gone. They're a shell of their former selves. Think about EA 15 years ago. They were killing it. You showed that Battlefield 3 trailer a couple weeks ago. Battlefield was a juggernaut in the industry. They were making just a myriad of variety, awesome games that people loved.
Crazy.
And Ubisoft is incredible. Bethesda was at the top of their game. And
yeah.
BioWare was killing it. And these guys are gone. They're making flaccid, pandering, weak content. And it sucks because I fell in love with these teams. So
yeah, no, bro, I agree with you. That's what I'm worried about. Like BioWare is the BioWare that we know, that we love, dead.
Gone.
Like
gone.
Like Mass Effect. Are we gonna get some weird freaking game? Like, is this a generational thing where the new devs that they've hired are just a bunch of weird, like not weird, but very different. You might say, oh, you guys are older gen, you are out of touch, it's you, but that doesn't mean that the quality is clearly dwindled. Like,
I'm gonna make a joke, and I don't really mean this, but the games that we grew up on. If you're watching the show and you're in your 30s or 40s plus, right? The games that we grew up on when we were younger, they were made by nerds or metalheads with long hair that listened to Megadeth and Iron Maiden, and they were shut up, Special Nick. He says both losers. This is a joke, but games were made by these guys who were just like, what'd be badass? Let's make this.
Yeah.
And now they're made by a younger generation that grew up in the whole cooperation. What do they call it? The cooperation award or whatever. I forgot what they call that. Where everybody's, everything's okay and everything's accepted. And then the political, social part of the world has changed so much that the Tomb Raider trilogy, Crystal Dynamics made a statement and said, we're going to leave this stuff in the game, but it depicts other cultures stereotypically, and we don't believe, and this is really offensive, we're going to leave it in here as a sign that we're not like this anymore. And sometimes, you just have to make a game where you do cool stuff and maybe you lampoon the way the world is and have some fun with it. But I think I said a lot to say that the studios are afraid to
offend people.
To ruffle feathers. Like Thomas Mahler, the developer of No Rest for the Wicked and Ori, said, I feel like studios are afraid to like tackle big important subjects. And I'm like, I love the guy, but I'm like, no, they're tackling big important subjects that really upset people when when Tosh sits down and goes, so we ought to clip this. So I'm non-binary. So he's gonna clip that and go, Colt just came out non-binary, right? Brad Ward will have that up in 8 minutes. So they are tackling difficult subjects, but there's bigger things in the world that get tackled. Like, I'll say this is the last thing I'll say. Oh frick, I forgot the name of the game. The game that takes place with Thank you. You're reading my mind. Yeah. That tackled like death and revenge and murder and power and corruption and it's so great. We don't get that stuff anymore. Is the BioShock game going to be like the new BioShock game? Hopefully Judas is,
Yeah, I think I'm hoping that this is a kind of market, there's a correction involved, because I would speak to it with Jaffe. It's an overcorrection one way, but it's not working. The people say that you go woke, go broke kind of statement, and it seems like the quality is dwindled as a result of companies wanting to pander. You can tackle topics, like you can tackle topics like stuff like on gender and stuff, or whatever, sexuality, all of that, as long as you have a clear intent and the game setting or narrative is based around that with some meaningful gameplay and story design. But doing this, let's make this trans, let's make this chick, little Asian guy here, let's put little Gaz here, let him sell some curry here. You know what I mean? I'm taking the piss, but you know what I mean? Just do this little checklist exercise. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We want some meaningful stories, and the art suffers as a result of you doing that kind of stuff. And hopefully, but I don't think South of Midnight is like that at all. It's brimming with so much quality, oozing so much of it, that I feel like this is fine. I didn't see anything there that was like cringe. I didn't see and cringe seems to be synonymous with a lot of that stuff. But South of Midnight, I saw really good stories, southern stories. She was telling about, you know, how much of like you know, a lot of slaves moved down south. I didn't even know that. I'm like, down south, that's the worst place to go if you're black and you're trying to escape slavery. But obviously America's so vast and geography is a main hurdle there. There's only so much you can go. So I didn't realize that a lot of, so that I was already learning.
Well, the
a
South
lot.
covers like this whole corner half of the U.S. You know, it's not just down at the very bottom by the
I
Gulf.
find that really interesting. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna play a black character with, you know, black background in down south, because okay, I'm not massively educated on the
Me
in
either,
the
and I
US.
live around here.
Yeah, the US. Every time I thought down south, I thought, hey, look, it's Cletus. Hey, Cold Eastwood, you got an awful pretty mouth. Come here, get me some
Well, that's
sesame
true.
seed sauce. You know, the down south kind of like really like hillbilly kind of thing. And then and now I'm learning more stuff. So that's where it can be educational and can tell a story that's quite unique. And I felt like, okay, I've got a lot to learn with this. I'm going to get a very unique and fresh narrative and a new perspective. And it's fantasy driven. So it's all very crazy. Like,
Yeah, and I love to learn about cultures or locales on a video game because I don't read a lot of books, and you know, movies are over in a couple hours, but when you play a game for 30 hours, like I learned so much about the culture. Maybe this is a joke.
wow, yeah, no, actually that's a good point.
Maybe this isn't like a very good example, but I feel like I learned so much about the culture in Sleeping Dogs that I didn't know growing up when I played the game. And that game's not like really serious, but I learned so much cool stuff and got such a great appreciation from living in a game world for 40 hours. And I'm looking forward to that with South of Midnight. I'm looking forward to learning something that, you know, I didn't get in school, or I, you know, was busy drawing pictures and not paying attention.
That's actually a really good point. That made me consider that. You know, with movies, you get like a 2-hour, maximum 3-hour exposition to a certain narrative. Books, obviously, are the best if you can sink yourself into, if you have time to read. I could spend 90% of my daily time reading contracts and leases and stuff. I've got a pile of books I want to read, but by the time I've got home, bro, I can't even look at anything to read, man. It's like, oh, all I'd be doing is reading for hours. So, and I've got so many things I want to read. And with gaming, you can really not only interact with elements of a story, you can build a game world to tell those diverse stories. I've always felt that there's a lot of value in that, but the way you described that made me realize that, hold on, that's the way we and a lot of the future generation can be exposed to learning more about the world beyond our own borders, especially when the world is becoming
Unfortunately,
smaller.
there are people that probably hide behind I'm against the woke movement because they don't want to be asked to or forced to play as a certain character. You know, I want to create a character because I want to play as me.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
And they're trying not to say, I don't want to play as a young female black girl, you know, and they won't say that outright, but there is intolerance in the world, unfortunately. And I don't believe for a second that this guy who created the game was originally going to have a white character or whatever and was told, no, she needs to be black. I don't believe that for a second. I would believe that this is his idea. He had this Hazel Flood as a character that he wanted to be the character in the game. And I also, I don't know if I believe that SBI comes in and goes, all right, we're here. Okay, cool. What are we doing? No. This is how it's going to be. No, listen to us or you're going to. There probably is some grandstanding that they do. That SBI's like, look, if you don't follow some of our bullet points or our branding points, that you're going to get lambasted for cultural insensitivities, and this is going to be backlash, which is going to cost you sales and cost you your reputation if you don't stay culturally sensitive. I also think that those pushes to not be insensitive to cultures is also causing a large amount of millions of gamers to say, I'm not touching your game because those people consulted on it, that company consulted on it. And I don't have strong opinions about the SBI and the woke stuff. I just say, if you're a studio, you need to be looking out for your audience. If you're putting the game out for millions and millions and millions of people, you need to make sure that you're casting your net out to a wide audience of people who want to play your game. And if you're doing this focused thing that is costing you sales, you're not creating art. You need to create what you want to make. Yeah. And I don't think studios are out here to make something that's openly racist or insensitive. And maybe people just need a little bit of course correction on, hey, like these vases didn't exist in Japan for Assassin's Creed Shadows. You need to fix that. That's great consultation. So I don't know. I think one side of it really exacerbates or exaggerates how bad it is. So yeah. I don't know. We don't talk about it enough.
I think it's such a shitty topic because the way it's discussed, literally on Twitter right now, I've just got Dave Jaffe's "shut up about Dragon Age" like in thumbnail. He goes, "Oh my god, just let people enjoy Dragon Age, you bitches." Yeah. And it's on both sides. Like the whole thing is just like you can't have a discussion about it, and I like to have competing discussions about it. Like Assassin's Creed, what's the new one? I keep forgetting. With the Shadows, the one set in Japan. What's it called?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Shadows, my brain's got dead. Shadows, I can tell you right now, they didn't have a consulting company, and it got burnt, and they didn't have a SBI equivalent. You don't really want SBI because they have the weird talking points, in my opinion. But this is more cultural stuff in Japan. They didn't even consult them. So that's the other end of the stick where it goes really wrong. Where they didn't even consult Ubisoft Japan, and they didn't even find out the blatant things about a broken Torii gate and how bad that is. So it swings and roundabouts. But like you say, a lot of these big companies that we used to love, the big developers, they seem like they're a shadow of their former selves. And I'm really salty about BioWare's basically there. And I still don't want to be wrong. Well, I say I don't know definitively. I just want Mass Effect to be good. And if it has that absolute dogshit Dragon Age writing that I've seen, I'll be so I think
they're learning lessons right now, but I would expect Mass Effect to be half as bad and half as good. I think they're going to course correct some stuff, but the blood is still there. Somebody in your chat said, name one good SBI game. Unfortunately, there are tons because of the narrative that people says SBI ruins everything. I don't know. There is a listing, but like God of War Ragnarok, Sable, Alan Wake 2 are like at the top list here. There's probably a bunch.
Alan Wake,
but Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is in there, which is a 90 Metacritic.
Yeah, well, you say that, but some of the shit I've seen on that game is a bit lame.
I played the game. I did not like it at all. I loved the first one. Loved it.
I didn't love the first one.
Couldn't stand this one.
I didn't like the
Alan Wake 2. I would give it a 7 because the gameplay was great.
I can tell you exactly where Sweet Baby Inc. came in with Alan Wake 2. The most random thing that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Have you completed Alan Wake 2?
No, but you're talking about Saga's like inner monologue.
Yeah. So it's quite popular there. People know about it. Oh, okay.
No, I've seen that part. Yeah,
it's just damn white people. I'm like, huh? Like, I'm not even white. I'm like, where did that come from?
I'm not even white and I'm mad.
I was like, yo, this is so
Yeah.
weird. Like, what's happening? And then, you know, it's just, I don't know. I can go on about it, but then everyone's like, Gaz, just send them back to Afghanistan or something. It's just weird. But let's see. I feel like the same problems affecting Hollywood as well, and you're seeing a lot of that bollocks. And I just don't. It really boils down to what you said, bro, and you hit the nail on the head there. Developers back then were those death metal fat nerds, and like you just love their shit. I still remember John Carmack, a documentary of him just sitting there and just coding like a freaking genius. These guys are working on them built Doom, and just the way these developers weren't generationally brought into gaming. That was a big mainstay that overlapped Hollywood or overtook it by degrees. Back then, gaming was this ultra niche, and you had these developers who really had a vision for gaming, that where it can take gaming to the future. What can it
it's
look
not
like?
even. Yeah, I agree 100%. It's not even really about the SBI. It's mostly the corporate-led, committee-driven video game development process.
That's exactly what it is.
Where Gaz and I are painting this picture about these guys like John Romero with long hair. Go, bro, you know what'd be really cool is if you go into the guy and he splits in half and then you make a sandwich. It was really about the creatives saying, this is what we want to make. And then the coders are like, can we do it? Is it possible? And then you made this game. Now you've got a whole committee of people saying, well, actually, studies show gamers like this in games. They like to have a backpack and they like to chase pigeons. And I think I see that a lot. If I could complain about Dragon Age, like we could go down the same road we've always done with Dragon Age complaints, but many of the things that really bother me are obviously like conference room, corporate-led choices in the game that, you know, just put lots of gold-colored things that they pick up over and over, and you can't even break down your gear or sell it. You have to just fill up your backpack with gear you don't want to use, and just like this isn't what gamers want. It's clear when big games come out what people want.
You're hitting the nail on the head there. Like this, I will work on a video on why the game design is so shit at the moment. There's nothing.
It's like a 50-hour project too, bro.
Yeah, that's a big one as well. That's a lot of homework for a video that no one will watch as well. But
I know.
But I will have to do it. No, honestly, it's been bugging me. I'll cry. I'll push it. It might not even get 5K views, but it's a video that I feel needs to be made so I can actually accurately put down what I feel I want to say without bumbling live like I am now. But I think you hit the nail on the head there, man. Like, it really is. That is the problem with game design nowadays. The Game Award nominations. This is where Jeff Keighley gets to shit on Xbox all over again. The Game Awards, we're going to get nominations on Monday. You know, last year, Xbox guys made fun of PlayStation for getting it got low nominations, but no awards. And Xbox came away with some awards. What we might get is Xbox games not getting any nominations. What from Xbox would get nominated this year?
Hellblade 2 is it. I think everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember what the deadline is, but I don't think Flight Simulator is going to get nominated, even though it's going to be highly rated. So, yeah, just Hellblade 2. It'll get nominated for best sound design or best art design, probably, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That's it.
Sound design.
Xbox had they had a bow out 2024. They're like, don't worry, we have a spreadsheet of all the games coming, and then they made us sit out 9 months yet again, like third year in a row.
Yeah, I think that's changing though.
Yeah.
I think it's changing now. I feel like it's changing. I mean, look at it. Look at this shit. I don't know why it's loaded to the end, but I feel like, well, what's actually happening next year? So, well, okay, let's on this year. You're right. I think Hellblade will win. I think Sony will win big, or PlayStation's. Well, Astrobot. That's in the running for Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
What would your Game of the Year be? I don't think I would even put Astrobot remotely close there. But then I'm thinking of, if I don't put Astrobot, what would I put this year? What would you put as Game of the Year this year?
It's kind of hard to remember. I mean, Dragon's Dogma 2 was fantastic. I was in love with it when I played it. So
I didn't even complete it. Yeah, it's a big game. It takes over your
I
life.
didn't properly complete it, but man, it was fantastic, wasn't it? Like your review sold me on it. I was like, I wasn't gonna play it.
It wasn't a review. It was more for a
40
preview.
something.
But yeah, it was really.
Yeah.
It's a really fun game. I've never played Dragon's Dogma game, and if
You were climbing on the back of an ogre, and I'm like, okay.
it was just so fluid, a fluid world where random shit was happening, but then the randomness of it then ends up being very samey sometimes. The same ogre.
Yeah, it ended up
griffin
you couldn't walk 5 feet without a big fight, and it just took forever to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if they would have kind of cleared that up, I think it would have been perfect. But I
Elden
really
Ring
like that game.
Tree. I don't know if DLC should be. I still feel a bit weird.
It
about
will.
DLCs.
Yeah, Fonz is excited about that, but yeah, I mean, I don't think DLC should be included. It takes away from the people that release a brand new game. DLC is great, like a big DLC that, you know, unless it's Starfield DLC, a big DLC that is wonderful like that, it's great. Just make a, like, what the crap, Jeff Keighley, just make a, well, people love Jeff, don't they? Just make a category that's for DLC and expansions.
I know you don't.
I know they already have the most supported or ongoing supported game. If you have to, just make a DLC or expanded content thing, and then Fortnite would win every time.
Last year was bollocks as well with that award show. Sony, on the other hand, they've, despite having, Astro Bot's a Game of the Year runner, so they've already cleared that. You're getting one Game of the Year contender is major, and there's a big chance that Astro Bot could win. It's a 94 on Metacritic after all. It's too high in my opinion, but still good. But it's not about my opinions. Then you've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's in the running for a lot of people for game. I really got to play these games. That's in the running. You've got Black Myth Wukong. That could be pretty. That will definitely get nominated. Whether or not it wins, I don't know. Stellar Blade. Will it get a nomination? I don't know if it will for Game of the Year. But Helldivers 2, yeah, that's a big one. Helldivers 2 was the zeitgeist for a while. And I think it should deserve a Game of the Year nomination. I think Space Marines 2 definitely should be freaking nominated.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a big one.
Helldivers 2? Yeah, Helldivers 2 is pretty popular too.
And
decently rated, like an 82 or 83 or something.
Really?
Space Marine 2 was really good, but then it was a one-note pony for me. A good one-note pony.
What do you mean, the campaign?
Yeah.
That's it?
The campaign, yeah, it was like halfway through, I'm like, oh, okay. And I enjoyed it all the way through, but you know, it doesn't have lasting effects for me. Still really good.
I need to do the co-op stuff. I'm just trying to line up the time with my friend to play that. I really enjoyed that. That for me is my game.
Special Nick in the chat says Prince of Persia.
A lot of people said Prince of
this
Persia.
year.
I felt it came out last year, but if that came out this year,
that's what I feel like. It came out like late in the year, so it gets pushed over to this year probably.
I bought that as well. Haven't managed to play that either. Call of Duty's not going to get nominated. Newest, come on, man. Power World might get nominated.
Special Nick said it was January for January 2024 for Prince of Persia.
Okay.
Wow, time flies.
Stalker 2 probably not. Power World maybe.
I don't think Power World is just popular.
Yeah. Oh my god, here we go, face with a $20 super chat. Cole Eastwood, in your video, Xbox Series X upgraded. Why didn't you fix your mistake? You said Monster Hunter Wilds will only run 30 FPS on all consoles, but it has performance mode on PS5, Series X, S, and the Pro.
Shut up! No, I'm just kidding. Because, fix my mistake. You can't fix YouTube videos unless you edit them and re-upload them, and I could have pinned a comment, but I didn't know it had a 45 FPS performance mode. I don't count that as a performance mode at all. That is a joke. 45 FPS, no, get a PC. No, if it can't run over 40 some, no, that's not going to count. And if Grand Theft Auto 6 gets a 45 VRR mode, no. No, no. It needs to be like, come on. It's not the 1970s anymore. We're gonna play games at 60 FPS. And so yeah, I didn't fix that mistake because my assumption was it was only at 30, which is where most people are gonna play it. And Digital Foundry might say they prefer to play the game at higher quality at 30 and more stable because that 45 FPS mode was all over the place. But that was the best part, Face. That was on the screen. I had the analysis showing it running at that bullcrap 45 FPS mode, running all over the place, which is horrible in a game like Monster Hunter Wilds. So yeah, it's basically locked at 30 in all truthness of the truth. So thanks for the 20 though. Yeah,
thank you. Man,
I don't know. Yeah, one of those things.
Good retort there. I didn't realize it was just 45. I've seen a comment from NC that's actually really good. Astrobot, Helldivers, Final Fantasy VII, Wukong, Stellar Blade, Ronin, not Ronin.
No.
Silent Hill 2. Okay, let me pick the ones that you. Okay, Final Fantasy VII, Wukong, Stellar Blade.
He's just saying these are all not on Xbox.
Silent Hill 2. These are games that are not on Xbox this year. These are big games, man, and Xbox didn't get any of them. And that in a year where PlayStation is supposed to have a weak first party showing, which they didn't because Astrobot is a Game of the Year contender and a surprise one. And then on top of that, you've got these third parties that didn't make it to Xbox. That's a big scathing thing. And the industry is moving away from exclusivity now. So you might not actually see this kind of stuff. Well, that's never going to stop people from taking Sony's bag and Sony offering that bag. You will get multiplats. But when you've got Kojima buying out the rights to his stuff and putting on Xbox, Shadow dropped. You've got Square Enix basically saying, they came out last week or earlier this week saying, they think platform exclusivity, like it's dying, and they're completely opening that exclusivity with timed exclusivity with PlayStation has not worked. So we are starting to see third parties as well, like really worrying more about getting as many people as possible to play their games. Now, a lot of PlayStation guys made fun of Square Enix, the Final Fantasy 16 not selling well on PC. This week we found out that, I don't know what it was, let me find it, but it didn't sell that much on PC. And I will say, you don't let the game benefit from the marketing push of the game's release, push out a year later. Not even the most popular Final Fantasy, actually. That didn't do that well anyway. And then say, oh, why is this not selling well? I'm like, well, where's the marketing push bit that this game was going to benefit on PC? And then I saw people saying, PC gamers don't buy games. When Helldivers... You can never say that, by the way, PlayStation guys. You need to shut your mouths when you say that. Because you need to put respect on PC's name when PC primarily led to the most fastest selling PlayStation game in history with Helldivers 2. And they're still carrying it. Still to this day,
it's not even charting on PlayStation.
It's not even charting on PlayStation yet. It's charting consistently on PC. And PC gamers contributed, like, what, 70% of the sales? 80% or something crazy like
70,
that?
I think it was. Yeah.
How are you chatting shit?
The problem is
how
that...
you chatting shit?
Well, the reality that we have to understand is that console exclusivity is a death nail for franchises. For the most part.
Well,
I think Spider-Man 2 did really well on God of War, but for the most part, having your game only on one piece of plastic for PlayStation and Xbox isn't working.
yeah.
And Jim Ryan said it in 2019 and 2020. Hiroki is saying it now, that monthly active users is really where it matters. They want you to sign into PSN on PC because they want everyone to know these are our customers.
Yeah.
And you're seeing Square Enix say, Square Enix basically said that, well, I don't want to put words that...
What, Dave?
Square Enix position is that they've spent the better part of a decade or more working with PlayStation exclusively and putting their games only on there and then some on PC, right? And now they're saying it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We're losing money. Like we have to expand, and then they're shaking hands with Phil Spencer. That one burned their rectal cavity so bad that he was shaking hands with Phil Spencer because they know that like there's not that many Xbox consoles out, but there are some, and we're letting our franchises die by being stuck on the walled garden that was PlayStation. That walled garden doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's dwindling, I would say. That walled garden has a few bricks missing. Something's crashed into it. And I don't think anyone's going to carry on hard maintaining it. But it's a generational thing as well. I feel like the industry is moving away from... And again, let me make it clear. You know me, I am pro-insular competition. You're having your silos, clear, divisible lines. I'm pro-consolidation so that, Sony can get Capcom, let them get Capcom, let them freaking compete. But that's the future we're getting. We're getting this platform agnostic. Everything is platform wars. And it's not just driven by Microsoft strategy born out of the failure in the console space. I keep saying it that way so you don't think I'm making an excuse, you muppets. But not you, the chat. I'm talking about the random moron who just clips it and doesn't actually misses out all the context of stuff. But this is the future. That's why I was making fun of Xbox's marketing for ages. The whole, this is Xbox. And I still will make fun of it. I think it's stupid. But ultimately, I feel like I do believe when Phil Spencer, when he says that the Xbox business is healthier than it's ever been. Well, they failed in their exclusive strategy. Now, opening it wide, as you get big IPs and properties and get momentum, obviously you're going to gain success. Not in the competitive space that we gamers benefit from, in my opinion. But maybe somehow, I don't know what the face of future competition is going to be like. Some people say Nintendo will step up to the plate with its next console that will really challenge even PlayStation with the power that this thing may have. I remain skeptical, but we'll see. Shout out to Red Eye Dragoon with a $10 super chat. He goes, hell yes. And the PC fanboys had so much to say about PlayStation sales of Final Fantasy 16, only to not even hit 500k sales. It's time to respect the 3 million Final Fantasy 16 sold in 4 days. Did Final Fantasy 16 sell 3 million in 4 days? In 4 days? I find that...
Last I heard was like over a year ago that, or whatever, that it didn't meet expectations. So I'll see what I could find.
I don't know about 4 days. I mean, even if it's 4 days, then it stopped after 4 days because the game stopped selling after 4 days for some reason on PlayStation. Because you didn't see that much sales after that. How much is total Final Fantasy 16
Only thing
sales?
I can find is that it failed to meet expectations, and I think 3 million would have been okay. Not
3 million in 1 week. Not 3 million in 1 week. Okay. And then after that, it just completely stalled. And
here we go. Yeah, we're delighted to announce from Final Fantasy's account, we've shipped and digitally sold 3 million copies of Final Fantasy on PlayStation 5.
That's amazing. That's actually very good.
June 28th. Yeah.
And then it stopped.
That's pretty big.
And then it stopped. Now,
well,
are you telling me
sales do?
Final Fantasy, you have this marketing push, you release it on PlayStation. A year later, you release it on PC with no fanfare, no marketing whatsoever. How are you expecting it to sell major amounts anyway? I feel like are you telling me that this would have sold 500 mil on PC as well? Or maybe the PC market doesn't care about Final Fantasy as much as the PlayStation does. Remember, you fostered and generated and created a fan base of Final Fantasy on PlayStation after many years, especially with the mainline games. So that it will take a while, especially for Xbox. A lot of people say, "Oh, why are you advertising Atlus's, Persona games and stuff on Xbox? No one cares about it." Like, you saw Mighty Keith actually have a existential crisis because Xbox even just freaking marketed it. But that while he's sitting there injecting Ozempic into his face, he doesn't realize that, the company's trying to change the landscape. And you can't even try and do that. You have to undo years of a culture that you've been excluded out of. And I'm not putting a violin here for Xbox and saying, poor Xbox. I'm just saying, you're Microsoft, you could throw in even more money, but Phil Spencer doesn't like that somehow. Anyway, it's a weird one. Final Fantasy 16, even if it did sell 3 million, what's the total sales of Final Fantasy on PlayStation? Can the PlayStation guys tell me? What's the total amount of sales of Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation if Sony themselves have come out and said it's disappointing? And I don't know why PlayStation guys hate admitting that. They came after that guy at Bloomberg, and then Sony and then Square Enix in their own slide said that it didn't meet expectations.
That's their MO, though. They go after journalists and everybody else.
Everyone does
when they feel threatened that PlayStation isn't worshipped to its utmost degree. Initial
ones were good. That's what they said. The initial were up in line with what they were expecting, and then it just went bloop. Long term, it dropped. So it is it. It is what it is. Sony didn't say it. Square did. Yeah, of course. Square did. Square, the ones who were sitting there telling it didn't sell enough. Anyway, that is the future. The future of gaming. Look, the future of Xbox is everywhere. Xbox is basically essentially third party, but it's getting there. When Halo comes to PlayStation, it's gonna be absolute pony pandemonium. And Gears and Forza, and we're gonna do this dance, and they are permitted to do that dance because it's huge. Xbox rode the fan base really well through an incredible 360 gen, incredible original gen. Failed in my opinion, two successive generations after that, and now has pivoted to being broader in a scale that none of its competitors have the financial might to support through something like Game Pass and broader strategy. So for Microsoft gaming, this may well and truly work. What does that mean for Xbox gamers? It remains to be seen. It will be crazy. Cygnus says Twitter will be lit once they announce Halo on PlayStation 5. You know what happens? And by the way, you call me a bot and anything, right? You absolute dickheads on Twitter. I swear to God, when Xbox falters, I don't recede in the shadows. I don't do a damage control tweet like Nick Marseille did. Where he's like, oh, this is what they're truly scared of when Bungie got tanked, lost 20% of their workforce or something, and the others got assimilated and all sorts, and projects got cancelled. I'm there.
Xbox isn't the only one hurting.
Relentlessly shitting on an Xbox when every time some negative news comes out. And when Halo comes on PlayStation, I will do the same. So every time. I've got to be fair. The source is fair. Even with my biases. But, Colt, you were saying Xbox isn't the only one doing it.
They're not the only ones who are hurting. PlayStation's still doing well, but they're still having problems. Like, all the other studios are hurting. But I mean, I was saying in the same breath that Xbox have seen a lot of success. So is PlayStation. Like, everyone thinks it's so cut and dry, and Xbox's console sales are horrid, but they're making a ton of money everywhere else. PlayStation's console sales are doing really good, and their live service stuff is doing horrible. They're doing pretty well on PC, I think, as well. Their subscription services are doing great. I don't know. It's just how everybody looks at things.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how this end of the generation, what this whole landscape works at. Phil Spencer's still committed to hardware. They will still do next Sarah Bond said that we were going to see something from the hardware space this holiday season. Could we? It's the Game Awards, isn't it? Everyone is saying that we might get something at the Game Awards. Why are you doing that? Look, bro. I think it's time to end the show.
I don't think they're going to announce. I don't think they're going to announce the handheld.
Because they said a few years away, he said, but I don't know what that means.
I think it's a couple of years away, the handheld. So there's something.
Is it good? Your face says no.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, okay. I thought you looked a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna find out. Anyway, but that's the space. The Xbox is everywhere. The toilet is your Xbox. This
Yep.
is your Xbox. This is Xbox. Everything is Xbox.
My
everyone in chat.
left hand is an Xbox.
Chat. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had a dank show. Sorry I was a day late, but you want me to have some energy when I'm doing that. Thank you for over 200 people still watching. Smash that like button. I am going to mass upload all 3 podcasts onto Spotify and all those places because I haven't done them. So apologies for that. If you're listening on Spotify late, forgive me. And I hope you enjoy the show. And before we go, Colt Eastwood, tell people stuff.
tell them things and stuff. I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow. I do a podcast on Monday nights for a couple hours. We'll talk about some of this news. You can find me on Colt Eastwood on YouTube and on Twitter at Colt Eastwood, and then TikTok. I know it sounds dumb, but I'm not making TikTok. No foot fetish stuff, unfortunately. No thirst trap nonsense, but regular gaming news in like 1 minute every single day. So I'll have at least 1 or 2 every single day on there. So like if you just want to flip through and see what we have, stuff I might not put on Twitter or YouTube as well. So yeah, check me out, Colt. Newest says check out Colt at 648p on all platforms where Game Pass exists. So yeah, appreciate it. It's been a good show, bro.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
man.
having me on.
Thanks for coming on,
coming through on the invite and actually sending it out. Stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Oh, man, love that.
And
Thank
you'll
you so
find me
much.
on Xbox playing Death Stranding. So I'm like chapter 7 of 14. I'm
damn.
assuming some of those chapters are going to be shorter because I'm over 40 hours in. So
I just got to the snow place. I feel like I'm in chapter.
yeah, it goes for a bit.
Yeah, I
goes for
can't
a
wait to
bit.
play that.
It's really
Anyway.
challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both Colt and I are playing something that we're not allowed to talk about. And on that note, we'll see
There you go.
next week. Take care. Peace.
Drop that bomb in there, yeah.
And